I'm Margaret Ann Windsor, and I was kidnapped from Buckingham Palace, 1941, at age 2, and I was brought to Moulton, Alabama. That's near Huntsville, and Selma, Alabama. It's not far away. I spent most of my time in Atlanta, Georgia, or a lot of it, and I've been in Roanoke, Virginia since October of '86. I found out in '83 about who my father is, Edward VIII. He was married to my mom, Claudia Ruth O'Keefe. She was the Queen of England, and you don't even hear about her. I have to tell that she's sister to artist George O'Keefe, who she is. But my father was always married to my mom, and he was forced to abdicate December of '36, and history says to marry Wallace Simpson. Well, that was a lie. He was married to my mom, and he stayed married to my mom till they died, and they were alive after '86. The double who became the imposter that married Wallace died in '72, so that was a fake helping take down my father. They took him down the plot. They assassinated him, his character, with character assassination. So they kidnapped me, and my own uncle helped in it. The Rockefellers, Rothschilds, Bilderbergers, Kennedys, Roosevelt, and my own Uncle George, and they've kept it up. Elizabeth totally knows about me. She was there probably when they kidnapped me, because they were living in Buckingham Palace too. And she certainly knew. She's 15 years old. What I want to say, I've put this up, documents, and if you care to look, they're on YouTube. I'm having trouble the last few days, because when I started putting up about Andrew Young, Reverend Andrew Young, and whether that's got anything to do with it, I don't know. It's quite a coincidence. I put one up, and then the rest of them won't go. But I have put up on Facebook, and put some things up there. Documents and things that give background. So I was telling about Andrew Young because I personally have been into the office when he was mayor of Atlanta in '72, '73, '74. In that time, I was there probably in December of '72. I'm not sure, or yeah, probably. Right after the Wayne Williams, well, I don't want to confuse it, but anyway, he wouldn't see me, but they all know about it. I went to Mrs. Martin Luther King's, and I had letters on me then of the FBI investigation and etc. Mrs. King wouldn't see me. It was cold outside, and I had been almost killed too many times. And I lost my home after doing the book, Medical Malpractice book. And I'm going to sound rambling, so I'm just going to put. She wouldn't see me either, but she sent one of her people out there. And I'm downtown at the conference, the headquarters, Martin Luther King headquarters. Civil rights, and ministers, reverends. And you do a background check on them, and you'll come out with all this. You're talking about Andrew Jackson. I'm tired. I need to stop now probably and just put it up for the night. Jesse Jackson, Reverend Jesse Jackson. I shouldn't forget that name, right? All these people, Atlanta, I'd gone with. It wasn't for lack of information. I had a letter from the FBI, June the 23rd of '79. So here's another one that knew all about it, or enough, and that was Forrest Sawyer. He worked for one of the major TV. I don't know if it's CBS, but anyway, he knew. Later, he became 2020 night host and on NBC, and I think one of the other CBS or ABC. I guess he's retired now, though, but he knew. But the point was that I was making the connection that I always thought Jimmy Carter, he was former governor of Georgia and then president in '77. But I always thought he was a good guy, and he certainly knew about me. So, but he appointed Reverend Andrew Young, who was with Martin Luther King when he was killed. Now, he didn't have anything, as far as I know, with the killing. I mean, they were friends and friends of JFK who had kidnapped me. But they certainly became aware of me and how much they got into it. He was appointed, Andrew Young, by Jimmy Carter to the United Nations as ambassador. Well, that's the people that kidnapped me. It became the people that kidnapped me were the Illuminati, Freemasons. The Rockefellers, Rothschilds, Bilderbergers, the Kennedy clan. JFK's father was ambassador. Roosevelt is a part of it. And my own Uncle George, illegal George VI. And Elizabeth has kept it up. She's illegal and she's part of the New World Order. So the United Nations became your global government controlled by the Illuminati. So and their home base is in New York City. So now then, they control the media, and you've got Jimmy Carter appointing Andrew Young, Reverend, to be ambassador, and there was a lot that went on that should be looked at again because it's part of overthrowing the British Empire. The connection to South Africa with Andrew Young as ambassador and the things that happened then in surrounding areas. But now I want to go to Burt Lance. I put a little bit of this up yesterday on Facebook, and I couldn't remember Burt Lance's name. I just couldn't last night. And Jimmy Carter appointed him to a position. I'm going to read it. In 1977, when he became was former governor at the time, then President Jimmy Carter. In 1977, Burt Lance he named director of the Office of Management and Budget, OMG, one of the most powerful government agencies and cabinet level posts. And then Burt Lance was put under investigation for fraud connected to two banks he owns in Georgia. Now, let me insert this here. I had put up about my placing my manuscript, a letter from the FBI, documents in Burt Lance's bank that was on Terrell Mill Road in Marietta, Georgia, Atlanta, Marietta. It's right there. I worked across the street from the bank at Urban Medical Hospital. So anyway, the book and all of it was put there in the safety deposit box. And I always, as bad as things got, I always paid the bill on it. And I got a letter in 1975 from the bank stating they didn't send my money back. I had sent them the money order and everything, and they got it. So that wasn't the problem. They just blatantly said they took the book for safekeeping. I never found out where any of it went. So I've been telling about how people, everybody's got something to hide. And law enforcement can go in and get something on someone's kids or code violations and all this. People have no right to join into a conspiracy against me because law enforcement gets something on them and promises not to prosecute. So this is what happened, and I wonder, with all that went on with Burt Lance, if that wasn't what happened there, because the book was taken in 1985. The safety deposit box was emptied with everything in it. And Burt Lance, I'm trying to read here, I'm tired, excuse me. Lance attempted a comeback in 1988. Well, first of all, he was in on the campaign of Walter Mondale, presidential campaign. But then he became influential elder statesman for the Democratic Party and was key advisor to black activist Reverend Jesse Jackson, who lived in Atlanta too. I think you all know who Jesse Jackson is. So I want to stop here because anyway, I put it all up And if you think special prosecutors and somebody interfered with the United States election or something, you better go back and look at who took down the British government, kidnapping, guilty, hid it all these years, money, everything drawn from Great Britain to keep me alive. Oh, well, I know I'm being redundant, but nobody could, I'm serious, nobody could, but God could, well, special prosecutor would help, wouldn't it?